Fuerteventura does not have green lush jungle or vibrant rice fields or really cool specialty coffee culture. In fact, there are like 3 good coffee shops on the whole island maybe, and it's not plus 30 degrees the whole year round. But Fuerteventura has something that Bali had about a decade ago, so I have some reasons to believe that Fuerteventura is the new Bali. Before I jump into this video, full disclosure, I have not been to Bali, but I've been obsessed with the idea of going to Bali for like 10 years, so I've read a lot of blogs, I watched a lot of videos, I talked to people who've been there recently and more than 10 years ago. If you've been to both Bali and Fuerteventura, drop down this emoji in the comments and let me know about your insights of how similar or different these 2 islands are. And if you feel like what I'm saying is not quite right, let me know in the comments. Let's start the conversation. I'm very excited for this video. And yeah, I'm no longer obsessed with the idea of going to Bali. It's not even in my like top 5 places to go to. So now, let's dive deep into the video. So you know how trends work, right? People find a new thing, which is usually an old, long forgotten thing. It gets a lot of attention, people hype it up, the interest peaks, and then it dies out. And a new thing comes in place of that. Usually a trend cycle is like 25-30 years, and I'm 27 now, and when I was a child, the coolest, most remote wild place that you could only imagine going to was the Canary Islands. So I feel like it's time to bring that trend back. In 2023, you just cannot impress anyone by posting a picture from Bali. Oh, she's in Bali, as well as 50 other people that I follow. Okay, the Bali trend is dying out. So what do you do when you can't impress anybody and yourself by the green jungle? You find a place that's quite opposite of that, something like Fuerteventura. A land of dead volcanoes, barren terrain, dry soil, volcanic rocks, and amazing beaches. What really excited me about Bali around 12 years ago is how remote and mysterious it was. It felt like a slice of paradise where you can isolate yourself and you can live a slow, peaceful life far away from the urban hustle and your day-to-day worries. Nobody knew much about Bali at that time, but it had that magnitude that really attracted people. The island has changed, and the people who come to the island changed also. Fuerteventura, on the contrary, is still quite unknown. When I tell people where I am, they don't know this place, never heard about it. The island has this sense of wilderness. It feels like there are a lot of untouched and undiscovered places. That's exactly what I wanted after living a very urban lifestyle. And I feel like this island has chosen me to come here. The opportunity arose and I grasped it. I couldn't be more happier that I'm not in Bali right now. I want this sense of freedom, this sense of wilderness, isolation even. I need this time to be on my own, to grow, to improve my lifestyle, my health, my everything. Let's compare the lifestyle in Fuerteventura and in Bali, starting with coffee shops. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there are like 3 good coffee shops in Fuerteventura, and I'm in one of them right now. It's Surfscape's Secret Garden Cafe, and the coffee here is mediocre, but at least they know what an iced latte with oat milk is, which means there are many opportunities for new coffee shops to open and bring specialty coffee and develop this culture here on the island even more. Of course, the situation in Bali is pretty much the opposite. The amount of coffee shops there is crazy. People are raving about the drinks that they have there. Also, there are some coffee farms in Bali, so it's even possible to drink locally grown coffee. Coffee would not grow in Fuerteventura. Now, let's talk about the beaches now. To my understanding, Bali is not really the place for swimming. Beaches are long, the waves are big, and everybody goes surfing to the beach or to watch the sunset, but nobody really goes in the water. But with Fuerteventura, everything is the opposite. Fuerteventura has a nickname. It's the beach of the Canary Islands. They're the best here. You can find long sandy beaches. There are many beaches with shallow water and deep water, volcanic rock beaches, and of course my favorite, natural pools. So how about the digital nomad culture? We all know that Bali is pretty much the mecca of all digital nomads in the world. There is no doubt about that. But in Fuerteventura, the community of digital nomads is pretty big as well. There are a lot of international people, especially Germans and Italians. People come here to open up their businesses. They come to work remotely for one company. There are a lot of freelancers as well, and it's pretty easy to find your community here via Facebook groups and events and meetups, things like that. There are a few co-working spaces on the island and a few cozy cafes where you can come and work with your laptop and charge it and everything. There is a co-working space right here in the Surfscape. I tried working here and I really liked it because it costs 10 euro per day, and you get access not only to the areas and the Wi-Fi and the sockets, but also to the pool. So whenever you're finished working, you could just go and chill by the pool a little bit, cool down, and maybe get back to work, or maybe just get some food, coffee, and relax for the rest of the day. Or go to yoga, because there is a yoga shala here as well. And by the way, Spain has a digital nomad visa, so remote workers are really welcome here. Surfing. I'm not a surfer myself, so take everything I say with a grain of salt and do your own research, but like in Bali, there are a lot of cool surf spots in Fuerteventura. People love it here. There are a lot of people with their vans and surfboards hanging out next to the best beaches for surfing. And you can surf the whole year round, but the best waves are in winter. There are a lot of surf schools here, as well as yoga and surfing camps, which I think is really, really cool. So about yoga and spirituality. If Ubud is the epicenter of spirituality and yoga in Bali, then I would say Lahares and Villaverde together is the epicenter of yoga and spirituality of Fuerteventura. There are a lot of yoga studios and spaces for retreats, and a lot of events happening in these areas, like Om healings, cacao ceremonies, ecstatic dances, and stuff like that. So it's very, very prominent in these two areas. I would say Corralejo is more like Canggu. It's very busy, there are a lot of tourists, a lot of shops, a lot of cafes, a lot of noise, a lot of traffic. It's like a safe choice for people when they come to Fuerteventura, because there are a lot of main things to do around it, but of course they're not the best things to do on the island, and it's really not possible to live that relaxed life far away from your day-to-day worries in Corralejo. Morro Jable in the south of Fuerteventura reminds me of Seminyak. Lots of tourists, shopping, bars, spa centers, resorts, huge hotels, and a lot of families with kids. And of course, there is also El Cotillo. This is my favorite place to hang out at in Fuerteventura. There are some awesome beaches for swimming and for surfing, small restaurants, cafes, smoothie bars, and cute boutique shops. Maybe it's more like Uluwatu in Bali. I'm taking you with me to El Cotillo in my latest vlog. We'll walk around the old town, hang out at the beach, and go to a ceramics workshop. This video is 100% worth watching, not only because of super beautiful shots that I took there, but also because I share my reasons for building a creative career and my insights on focusing on the journey rather than on the destination. I'm sure it will resonate with your creative soul. So there is one place in Fuerteventura that I just don't know what to compare it to in Bali. It's Betancuria. It's the old capital of the island, it's the first settlement of Spanish conquistadors, and it's just so interesting. You should watch my video from Betancuria where I show you this place. You can feel the vibe, and you can let me know, what do you think it resembles from Bali, especially if you've ever been to Bali? Or maybe this place is so unique and special that there is nothing that it can compare to. Okay, let's look at some facts about Fuerteventura and Bali. The size of Bali, 5,780 square kilometers, and size of Fuerteventura is much smaller, 1,660 square kilometers. Tourist arrivals in the first half of 2023, Bali, 2,896,766 people, and Fuerteventura, 1,284,869 people. Quite a big difference. Population, Bali 4.2 million people, Fuerteventura 122,500 people. So, what did we learn? Fuerteventura is much less densely populated island, it has less population, less tourists, it's not crowded, it's more unexplored, more wild, therefore it's a more desirable destination for travelers who seek really unique experiences. Fuerteventura means two things: strong wind and strong luck. It definitely feels like both. I feel very lucky to be here at this time and enjoy the island at this state, and how I ended up here feels like a magical coincidence, like a synchronicity, and I talk about my story a bit more in this video right here. Also, in this video I answer a few common questions about life in Fuerteventura, the weather, and things like that. If you're interested, you can check it out. Fuerteventura is teaching me so many lessons, one of which is to see abundance everywhere around myself. I recently met somebody who came to Fuerteventura just for a few days as a tourist, and I asked her, "So how do you like the island so far?" And she replied one thing and one thing only: "Aw, it's not so green." What? I wanted to be like, duh, obviously, bitch. This is what this island is all about. Where did you think you were going to? Come to Fuerteventura with an open mind and open eyes, and it will give you the most amazing experiences of your life. The wind here is quite strong, and I thought that I'm going to struggle with it and I wouldn't like it here. But no, you learn not to fight the wind and not to escape it. You embrace it and you let the wind take away all the worries in your head and bring some positive energy from the faraway lands where it comes from. It's a very interesting sensation. So if you feel lucky and ready for the wind of Fuerteventura to take away all of your daily worries and problems, I'll see you on the island and in my next video. Peace!